Welcome to Insides Matter, a YouTube monthly space where I speak out of 29 years of being a psychologist and out of loving people and art and poemy words to the heart and home of you. Today's focus, self-care around the holidays. I have 10 points of consideration for self-care specifically around this season. And I'm going to get started, and then I will close with a poem for the season. The first point to think about is hit the pause button. Where are places that you could consider intentionally pausing, creating space for rest? And it's such a paradox at such a time where it seems there is more to do. And so, of all the times to be more intentional, schedule in or take spontaneous naps or baths or all the things that feel pausey to you, a walk in the woods. And even this time of year, depending on where you live, possibly hearing the crunch of the leaves below your feet as you walk. Or maybe by the time you listen, it'll be the crunch of snow below your feet as you walk. And 2, create intentional space for your grief. If you are missing someone in particular because you live far away or they have died, this can be such a self-care, loving thing to do. And there's so many ways you could do this, just by taking out photos of them and having them around with more intention around this time, putting out a candle in their honor, creating an artful, creative activity, making a collage of memories of them, for example, or a collage of photos, a collage of words that occur to you. Doing some journaling, going on a walk with them metaphorically and talking to them. If the person's still alive, creating a Zoom call or a phone call or sending them cards and telling them what you really appreciate about them. 3, gratitude list challenge. So during the holidays as self-care, taking the time in the morning or in the evening, let's say, to jot down a few things you're grateful for in the day. Research shows that people who have a gratitude practice report higher sense of well-being and happiness. 4, laughter is medicine. So being intentional to watch movies that make you laugh or read books that have levity to them, or pull out some games like Twister or other kinds of things that make you laugh, old childhood games like Operation, and play with your friends or family. 5, take time for nothingness, listening to Bach while laying in bed, just laying down on the floor of a forest and looking up at the night sky or the daytime and watching the wind go through the trees. Sometimes taking time for nothingness leaves room for everythingness. All right. 6, it's the little things. Being intentional to open your windows if you can, if it's warm enough, and to hear the bird song. Piling up, if it's still chilly, with extra blankets for a little bit, just to have that fresh air and listening to nature sounds. Make a fire. Read a children's book. Do your nails. You get the idea. 7, authentic magic. Considering anew what truly aligns with you, shedding the shoulds. So, for example, this holiday season, instead of shopping, would you prefer to paint some gifts? Just really thinking about what would be magical for you. 8, one day at a time. At the holiday season, it can be so overwhelming to think of all the things we need to do. And so just thinking, for this moment, what are my needs? How can I care for me? And what is just a step, something I can accomplish? 9, indulge your senses. What would you love to smell? Nutmeg, cinnamon, vanilla? What would you love to hear? Is it holiday music, Tibetan singing bowls? What would you love to taste? Hot apple cider? Hot chocolate with extra marshmallows? What would you like to touch? A soft blanket? Your pet? And, you can deliciously walk through your senses and create a really thoughtful, caring grocery list for yourself. Or, change your radio station. I think I've forgotten about this piano music I love, or whatever it is. Or opening up your front door and letting your senses take in the full sky. And 10, be loyal to your dear body. Getting back to the basics of taking stock. What's going on with my nutrition, my exercise, my sleep? And, am I getting in enough of my vegetables? And especially around the holidays, sometimes we can toss out some of that mindfulness. And, what would happen if you filled up half your plate, half your portion with yummy, colorful vegetables? And sometimes just thinking about taking care of your body is a beautiful and loving act. And now a holiday poem that I wrote for you. This Christmas, this Hanukkah, this rah, 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 I am going to be the Fraser fir, the wild thing, the one who reaches into the air and expresses the real roots of who she is. So green, so poemy and pizzazzy, the perfectly imperfect presency of me. I will dress up with ornaments that suit me, with pink and red tones, matching my glittery, branchy bones. And know I belong in this room, in this life, in this Zoom, as I am. I will care for my roots with waters from the sea, and be grateful for love, however she finds me, from the birds in the spring to the deer who now ring, from the hands who form the jello to every living fellow, and join you in reverie at this time of the holidays with a bow of my bow and holy reverence to your everydays. The next Insides Matter episode airing on YouTube from me to you, mark your calendars, will be Thursday, January 12th. I'm gonna skip to my loo the December month out of self-care. And I will also in December be doing some traveling to New York City. By the way, December 3rd, that afternoon, I will be in the Gudrun Sodian store in New York, 50 Green Street in Soho, with my books, the relationship book, for sale, for signing. There will be refreshments if you're able to make it. It would be so fun to see you there. And so I will resume here on YouTube Thursday, January 12th, and I've decided for next year, for 2023, that once a month I will do kind of a mini book club with you, and I will do a reading each month from my newest book and then a reflection from it in some way that has to do with self-care and loving yourself in all of your relationships, including with yourself. And I think the first reading I'll do in January is about wearing a life that is mine. That has to do with the clothing you pick, and so many of your selections. You can always find me at racheloz.com, and that's Rachel Oz, AWES.com. Thanks for being here. Happy holidays to you, and be well.